Kim, thanks for stopping by my video today. I thought I would do a quick flip of my January pages. It's after the month has begun, or after the month has ended. February begins today. Today is the 1st. You get what I'm saying. So I would like to go through and do a quick flip of my January pages. Slightly chatty, maybe. But the goal and the objective is to make this really quick. So I'm hoping that the sun cooperates with me because it has been gloomy like all week. I want to say the entire year so far, but we're just going to power through and soldier on. I did show a quick reel of my monthly and my weekly pages over on my Instagram page. So if you want to check that out, be sure to follow me there. But we'll just jump right into it. So here's my monthly for January, and something I did that I had tried out at the end of last year. I began to make my monthly more of documenting exactly what happened. So instead of just writing down events that are coming up in the month, I went back through and I wrote a little bit of like micro journaling and some details and things about stuff that did happen after it occurred. And this type of layout I really do love. It makes the entire monthly look a lot fuller, more complete, ties in a bunch of the deco. So this is something that I do like, and I do anticipate continuing this type of monthly going forward. So let's get into the weeklies for January. And here's the first week that I have for the month. Again, this is my typical weekly layout. It just works for me. And I've used some sterling ink deco on the top and on the bottom, along with a little bit of washi, mostly just pen and marker. And I did use one of my stamps over here. I'm trying to also get back into using my stamps for this year, or during this year. I feel like I fell off a bit in 2022, so I'm trying to do that a bit more to just add a little bit more interest to the pages. And you'll notice as I flip through all of the weeklies for the month of January, everything pretty much looks the same, especially down here. My lists are stuck to the same few lists: cleaning, tasks, a social media tracker, my currently list, and this week I do have a next week section. I don't always do that, but these other 4 I tend to always do, or at least I have for the past couple of months. My currently section, this is something that is newer and I really do like it. So I do have it broken down into what I'm currently learning, reading, and watching. So learning, if I'm doing some type of online course or reading some type of non-fiction book, I'll put that down there. Reading, which is pretty clear, whatever reading I'm doing for enjoyment. So that is typically a fiction book. And then whatever I'm watching, that could be a series that I watch by myself, or a series I'm watching with my daughter, with my son, with my husband, whatever I'm watching at the moment. So that's what goes here, and it's kind of chronicling what's going on throughout the different weeks and months for me. And the same thing here, continuing on with the sterling ink deco and a little bit of washi. And other than that, it's primarily ink and marker. And then here's week 4 of January, of which I do have a video showing how I set this entire weekly up. And it's basically the same breakdown, same template. But this week I used all of my goodies from High Paper Clouds. I'll be sure to link that video down below if you're interested to see all of what I used in this spread and get more information about how you can use it too. Okay, so those are all of my weeklies. And then flipping right to, using that little tab up there, flipping right to the January section, what I call my January collection pages. I'll show you that. Over on the left is my tracker, and I did pretty well with the tracker up top. The bottom was okay. I swear I was like halfway through the month and I realized that I was not tracking sleep or anything, which is kind of fine because I actually started tracking it in my health journal that I'm using a Hobonichi Weeks for this year. So I am tracking sleep. I just forgot to track it here. Also, weight I'm not tracking here. I should be tracking it over in the health journal. Kind of not, but that is the plan. And these bars here represent like my energy level for the day, and then this is just my cycle tracker to see like what day in my cycle I am and how it relates to energy, to migraines, and anything else that I have going on here. And then flipping the vellum calendar, I have my 1 line a day, and I've been pretty consistent with this. At the end of each day, or maybe every couple of days, I will come in here and write down something of note regarding the day. It's not always a highlight, not always a low light. Sometimes it's just like whatever. But I will come back and I'll note what's going on for the day, or just something memorable for that day. And then here is my goals section. I do want to come back and check off the things that I have done, the things that I might migrate to February. So like I said, today is the 1st of February, so I have a little bit of time. I also need to do my reflection for the month of January right over here. So I'll get to that, if not today, maybe tomorrow actually. All right, move things around just a little bit. I feel like I'm going to be running from the sun in this video again. So that's my goals and reflection page. Nothing much to say there. And then I do have an order tracker. And then I get right into my dailies for the month of January. And as I did in December, I did start out with the intention of trying to do 1 page per day. Some days it didn't happen. For instance, on the 1st, which was Sunday, I wasn't in my journal hardly at all. So I just have this short little task list and nothing much else to add. Whereas over on the 3rd, I have a bit more journaling. I have some notes covered up here that I don't want to share. Use some sticky notes, a little bit of notes also in like a different color ink. And that's pretty much my flow and my format for all of my daily pages. There will be my task list, and then some micro journaling, a little bit of deco. These stickers were from the planner spot. And then I'll just highlight a few things to call them out, or just make a few notes as the day progresses. And usually I will sprinkle in a little bit of the sterling ink deco here and there. And then I did my week 1 review. So I broke it down into what worked, what didn't work, my favorite moment, how to make next week better, and my summary. And this is what I stuck to for the entire month. In January, I also created a photo log. I really want to get on top of organizing and storing and filing all of my digital photos. There are some photo books I would like to put together, some memory books I want to put together. So I really need to go through all of those photos and organize them. And I'm hoping that this tracker, where I can like tick off what things I've done, what year and month were completed, I'm hoping this will really help me do that. And then I did a tracker for my plants as well. I do have a lot of plants. I've actually gotten rid of some over the past several weeks. Because it's winter, because I'm kind of over plants, or at least I'm over having like 150 plants. So I do find that I need to track when I water what. Since it is winter, plants are not getting watered as often, so I can't just say once a week for everything because it's not that often. So I did start this tracker, and it goes from week 1 to week 24, and I'll just make a dot with my clean color dot markers whenever I water them, whenever I fertilize, and whenever I treat them. So we're up to week 5, and I still need to update. Well, this is like the start of week 5, so I will update this if anything gets done with the plants for this week. But I do find this helpful because it reminds me when I last watered what. And then going right back into my dailies. With a week 2 review, the same questions that I asked over in week 1. And then I just have some personal information that I have clipped together here. But I took the opportunity to swatch out some of the new washes that I had gotten from High Paper Clouds. And then some notes about goal processing and goal planning. And then this is a spread that I did use all of my High Paper Clouds things. So I have some washi and some sticky notes and some stickers, but the format is exactly the same for the dailies. Oh, and here is the blank page that starts a new month. So in my last planner for 2022, I would use these pages, since they don't have grids or lines, I would use these pages to kind of swatch out all of the markers and washis that I'm hoping to use for the following month, for the sub kit for the following month. So that's what I did here. Over here, I obviously got an order in from Galen Leather, so I took some of that packaging and stuck it right there. And that's what I hope to do also in my planner this year. A little bit of memory keeping in this kind of format. Just if I have any extra stickers or things, I'll place them on the day that those things happen, just to remind myself of those good things. And then here we're getting into week 4. And this spread is 3 days on 2 pages. So again, I didn't quite stick with doing the 1 page per day, but that's quite all right. I did use a lot of pages in January for some collections, like that photo log, like this information that I have clipped here. So the pages do get used, even though I'm not using 1 page per day. The pages and the sheets will get used up. But something I did learn from using this setup, this cut down Hobonichi Cousin in 2022, is that I had some pages left over at the end of the year. So I can be a bit more liberal in what I choose to write down or the collections that I choose to keep inside of this planner. So I think that's actually going to be kind of fun. And then here's my week 4 review for January. And then these are the last 2 days of January, so the 30th and the 31st. And for these days, I was able to use 1 page per day with some added deco from Sterling Ink to tie it all in together. And then what I'm thinking of doing, I actually reserved this spread. I want to do a January recap, some kind of journaling spread to have some memories placed here. I actually do have the photos. I've saved them as the month progressed. And I know which things I want to include here. So I think I'm going to do that. And I don't know if I'm going to make it a video. We'll see. What's your vote? If you think I should make it an actual video where I sit down and do this January recap, let me know down in the comments. So that's pretty much it. That's all I have for my January flip through. You can see all of the finished pages, all of the completed pages for my whole setup for the month of January. Anything I mentioned I'll have linked down below, and of course if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask them and I'll get right back to you. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.